Good morning, and thank you for tuning in. Rose Ward, Stampersdelight.com. Grab your coffee, grab your tea, and come stamp with me. Yes, you can see I have my fall mug out with black and orange and some little bats. You can get this on Stampersdelightshop.com. Okay, so hop on, say hi, let me know where you're watching from, whether it's YouTube or Facebook. So glad you could join me this morning. Before we get started, just a couple of reminders. Again, you can get that great mug and other apparel at Stampersdelightshop.com. Good morning, Carol Davis. I also want to remind you that I did hold over my August online class with the gingham suite. So you have till 1 p.m. Eastern time to grab that link and sign up for that online class. Good morning, Winnie Ann. Good morning, Karen. Another reminder, and I have several this morning, the Sweet Licious Fun Fold Club with Donna Gray and myself. We do that every month. In the U.S., it's $50. You do get some product. You get an exclusive Facebook page with 2 fun folds, one from Donna, one from me, and 3 different variations of each of those. So you're going to want to check that out. So a couple of other things from Stampin' Up. I just wanted to show you the Perfect Partners. And the Perfect Partners is, that starts in September for customers. There's there's 6 actually new dies that coordinate with stamps in the current catalogs, which did not have dies before. So again, you're going to want to check that out. And everything can be found on my blog, Stampersdelight.com. And you'll be able to see what's involved in that. Also, the new card kit is available. And I will be doing a video on that one. I didn't write it. I actually wrote everything down and forgot to print it off. So that's the new card kit. Good morning, Tracy. Good morning, Jill. Hey, Sabrina, how are you? Okay, and the last thing I want to show you is the virtual card making event. This is good for everyone, demonstrators, customers, anyone that wants to be involved in a free virtual card making event with Stampin' Up, October 1st. And it is totally free. You do have to register. The link will be below. And there are a couple of stamp sets they will be using. Cottage Rose, Cottage Wreaths, and also a new one, Warm Welcome, which will be available September 1st. All of this can be found on my blog, Stampersdelight.com. Okay, so let me flip the camera. If you have any questions, definitely ask. Good morning, Joyce, Molly, Sandy. Sandy, I will talk to you after this is over. Let me flip the camera. And what I am going to show you today is the Fond of Autumn bundle. And that is on page 52. Love the fall. I don't like what comes after it, which is Christmas. Not Christmas. I love Christmas, but the winter. So this is the Fond of Autumn. And of course, here are the dies. Now, a couple of things I want to point out with these dies. This die right here does cut out this piece right here. Okay. This die also cuts out that piece, but it cuts it into sections. And that'll make more sense when you see my samples. And of course, this die right here just gives it some dimension, and you'll see that in a minute too. And it also can cut that out. So a lot of different ways to use these dies, some of which you'll see today. So let's bring in the samples. And this is a sample of just that large stamp being stamped on very vanilla and then colored in with my blends. Hi, Marilyn. Hi, Brenda. Thank you all so much for joining. All right, so that is when you just stamp that stamp. Still shots will be on my blog later today. The next one I wanted to show you, and yes, these pumpkins are not with this set, but I had them left over and I thought it would be great to use. This is where you stamp this large stamp and then you cut it out, and you can see that it cuts it into different pieces, right? So you can use it different ways. What a great idea, right? So there's another one. You're such a blessing, and that also goes to another stamp set, which will be listed on my blog later today. The next one I'm going to show you is, again, I stamped that large stamp. I cut it out with that die that cuts it into pieces. And for the background, what I used, which I love, thank you, Molly, is our Leaf Fall 3D embossing folder. I absolutely love this folder. Such a great folder. And again, if you can't see these, oh, I didn't put an inside in that. Oh my gosh, look at that. Well, I might have to do that before we finish. So we'll put that one aside. The next one I'm going to show you is using this insert die right here. And you can see, just lay it down, you run it through, it just opens the holes up. And there I used, I believe this was the cottage wreath or the gingham. I didn't have it here and I apologize. But I'll put the DSP that I used. Just a note. Isn't that beautiful? Good morning, Donna, Shirley, Kathleen, Patricia. Let's see if I put an insert in here. I did, yay. Thank you, Shirley. Shirley says she loves these cards. Okay, so what we're going to do today, and I'll show you the first card, is some embossing on vellum. Now, this is very subtle, so you can see that I used different colors and I used that embossing folder. And I embossed with the white embossing powder, and it's very, very subtle. I used some of our pastel chalks back there. Very subtle. Yeah, and Molly says, oh no, another set she'll have to get. Then I did basically the same thing, but I used my markers behind the vellum. So it's a much, I mean, you can really see it. This is more of a subtle tone. This is, you know, more vibrant. And here again, I used that folder. I also used the folder on the designer series paper that I used. You love the fall cards? You'd love to case these? Go right ahead. Anyone can case any of my cards. That's the best compliment I could get. But don't forget to tag me if you do case them, because then you're in the drawing every time for a free gift. Hi, Darcy. Hi, Lisa. So again, two different ways of doing the vellum. So let's get started. So the first one I'm going to do is, and I have these pieces already cut. Oh, you know what? Yeah, let me start with this one. I've already done this embossing, but you're going to see me emboss again. But we're going to start with this one. So I'm taking my soft suede, cutting that. This is going to layer right on here. And that is our Cajun Craze. I'm going to go ahead and put this embossing folder through my machine, just like that. I'm going to do that on the side here. I think we all know how to emboss. If you don't, and it's your first time watching, please go back and watch my other videos where I show you. Sometimes it's easier for me just to do it to the side. So this is that gorgeous embossing folder now. This is going to layer right on top of here. Now, let's see. Do I want to use some ribbon? I think I do. You made one of my open book cards today. Thank you, Angie. And I'm going to just take our gold ribbon, which I absolutely love. I'm going to put this on the back side here using my Stampin Seal. Stampin Seal is actually the one I use the most. And my ribbon scissors, I really wish we'd bring those back. And then I'm going to layer this on here. So I've already embossed this, and before I cut it out, I'm going to flip it over so you can see that I used the white embossing. I'm going to flip that over. I am going to bring in a block. I'm going to bring in my soft pastels, and I'm going to use those to color this. So let's move this out of the way. There's my host code if you'd like to place an order with me for August. Let's move that out of the way. All right, so I'm going to take my Take Your Pick tool, and I'm going to flip it, and I'm going to take that little paddle side, and I am going to take, because it's muted, very muted, this is going to go all over, but that's okay. I'm just going to shave off some of that. I want some green. Let's take the darker yellow. It's okay if they're getting mushed together. I don't have a brown, so I'm going to use this one. And that might be the only colors I'm going to use. Let's take a look. So I am going to bring in my sponge daubers. You could use your brushes, your blending brushes, but I get better results with this. Okay. I'm going to dab that in the green. And from the back side, I'm going to go ahead and just add this to the leaves. And a couple leaves right here. You don't have to really control it. So there I'm going to add. Vellum is your friend, okay? All right, I'm just going to tap this off to get that part that I don't want on there. Thank you, Mary. I really appreciate that. I'm going to bring in some yellow. And another yellow one right here. I'm going to bring in some purple. And then I'm going to bring in some of that rust right here for my acorns. You can use whatever colors you want. And I do think I want a little bit of blue. So again, I'm going to shave off a little bit of blue. And I'm just going to add those right here. You see some leaves that I missed, so let's grab the green again. And where did I put them? Right there. Okay. I'm actually going to go back in with this color and just add some right here where there's some of those little swirls, just for some added color. Okay, I'm going to move this out of the way so it doesn't get all over. And again, I'm going to tap this off. And then you see this beautiful color. I'm going to go ahead and get my die, and I'm going to cut that out. Again, I'm just going to take this to the side and cut it out, okay? One momento. I actually am doing it. I know it's pretty quiet over here. Now, the thing with vellum is when you attach it to something, sometimes your glue shows through. The beauty of a ribbon is that you can hide that. Sorry, wanted to get that out of the way. And I'm going to attach this right here. Look at that. Beautiful, subtle colors. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to put the glue behind where the ribbon is. Just like that, which you won't see it. And if you want, you can put some glue dots to hold it in place. So let's grab some glue dots. And you could do this before, so let's just flip that back over. So I'm just going to take this back off. There's where I've got my Stampin Seal, where you can't see it. I'm going to grab a couple of glue dots. And this is how we hide that. Just add those. Oh, let me grab my other side here. Let me flip that over. I'm just going to add a couple of glue dots to the ends of these, so they don't flop around on my card. When you're using vellum and you don't want it to show, just put it in inconspicuous spots. Okay? I'll put that one right there. All right, so now we're going to layer that right on top. Oh, so pretty, so pretty. Okay. You know what? I just thought of something. I think I had an idea, but I'm going to change it. Let me see if this will work, because these leaves have holes in them, and I don't want the hole to show. Let's see if I can slide that back here. You know, this is not planned, so whatever we come up with. Oh, yeah. Okay, so I'm going to grab 2 of these leaves, and I am actually going to emboss those also with the folder. Cards on the fly, stampers. So I'm going to just throw both of those in there like this. I'm going to run those through my embossing machine. They come out beautiful. I love these leaves. Okay. So now we have these great leaves. Let me put this back before I lose it. And I'm going to tuck those in between, because it really makes it pop out. Doesn't it? I'm just going to lift that up and put it back down. Okay, so I'm going to grab that. I'm going to tuck that right under there so you don't see that hole on that leaf. Lift that one up and do the same thing. Make sure it's not hanging off. Okay, now I'm going to grab a sentiment. So I am going to grab my banner and a piece of white. And I am going to do this in Blackberry Bliss. Lots of fall colors here. I'm going to grab Sending Many Thanks. Go right inside there. And then I am going to grab that die. And just, this time I'll bring in the machine. Just in case of those of you who have never seen our machines, this is our large embossing and die cutting machine. We do have a smaller one. I highly recommend both. I'm going to grab a Post-it note for this because it may shift. And actually put the die on the right way. There we go. Hi, Patricia. How are you? And then I am going to cut that out. I almost forgot. I did announce the other day the winner of the Glitter Goddess mug was Nathan Spear. Nathan, I will be sending that to you. Congratulations. And all you have to do to get in on any of the giveaways is tag me in a post, comment, share, follow me, all those things above. All right, now I'm going to put this right here. For that, I'm going to use my glue dots, my dimensionals, which I still have the sides. So I still can't open a new one yet because I still have pieces. And I like to use up all my pieces first. So I'm going to flip that over and use these pieces up first. I make myself do that, otherwise I have all these little pieces left. So before I open a new pack of dimensionals, I use up all my pieces. There we go. Okay, Judith. All right, so I have that. Let me grab this gold ribbon again. I'm just going to tie a bow. Remember, loop around, loop through, pull the ears and the tail at the same time, and you get a nice bow, and you can just fix that. Quite a while ago, I do have a video out there on bow making. I'll have to dig that up. It's on YouTube, but I'm not sure how long ago it was. And I'm going to add that right there. I'm going to go ahead. Cards on the fly are always your favorite. You never know what you're going to get, right? I'm going to add that right there. Now I can leave that ribbon hanging off because it's really, it'll go in the envelope, but I'm going to trim it just a hair. And again, bringing in those gems. Hello, Pat. These are our leaf label and amber gems, which I love for the fall. I'm just going to add a few gems around here. Just like that. I'm going to grab an insert for my card. And let's grab one right here. Not that one. Where are they? There they are. Got this little twirly thing I gotta grab. Oh, you do the same thing, Molly? Many thanks. Now, I like to write my own thank you note, so I'm not gonna put anything in there. What I'm gonna do is grab these little fall stamps, which are the acorn and the leaf. And before I put it in my card, I'm going to take that acorn. Oh, I want the soft suede. So I just did them together. And this, and this, and then I'm going to grab one more of the acorn going this way. Okay, so I have a little something on the inside. And then I'm going to grab an envelope if I have one here. Yes, I do. And I'm going to do the same thing on my envelope. I'm going to grab soft suede. And then just grab the fall leaf. There we go. So there I have a really nice fall thank you card. Thank you, Tracy. Thank you, Molly. Hey, Meg. Haven't seen you in a while. So there's that one. Now, let's bring in another one. I'm going to change it up a little bit. Don't need those anymore, so let's put those over there. For this one, I'm going to take, again, the soft suede, regular half a sheet. And I forgot to tell you, well, this is normal size that I use, 4 by 5 1/4. And then the next size, which is designer series paper, I do 3 3/4 by 5. So that layers up real nice there. Now, what I'm going to do with this to save myself some time is I'm actually going to emboss these at the same time. I just want to add a little texture, and I don't really care if it even moves, okay? You're just going to get a little texture on your paper. So let's bring that in again. And I'm doing both at the same time. So go ahead and tag me on a post, comment, share, follow, and I think I'll give away some of these cards. How's that? So now when I pull this out, you can see that it has some texture to it. Even if it wasn't straight, doesn't matter. I can line it up now. All right, so now what I'm going to do is, of course, this is my card base. So I'm going to go ahead and glue these down. This was the other side that you saw me use before, but this time I wanted to use, oh, you know what? I'm going to add some color to this. I want to lay it down first, but you know what? I'm going to add some color to it. Let me grab some of my blending brushes. I would suggest you do it before you put it on the paper, but I'm going to add a little pumpkin pie. So let me grab a piece of paper here. It's okay, this is dark, so you can't see it, but I would do this before you put it down. Let me just show you. We'll just take this right off. Very gently. Okay, so there. I have that one. Let's do a little Cajun craze over here. Look how that comes out. Nice, right? And let's see what other color. Calypso coral, maybe? Clean that off. I can use the same brush. Add a little calypso coral. And then how about a little blackberry bliss? Now I am going to switch because I have a darker one for the purples. Just go right back in there with some color. Ooh, I'm loving that. What do you think? Okay, I am going to very gently pull this back off. Normally you wouldn't have the glue on it. Okay. But I change my mind as I go. I'm going to lay that back down. Oh yeah, look at that. Look at that. Okay, again, I'm going to take that beautiful ribbon. I love this for the fall. I'm going to go ahead and put that on the back side here like that. And then layer that right on my cardstock. So we're going to layer that right there. Okay. Now, this piece I've already embossed. We all know, if we don't know how to heat emboss, okay, you can definitely check out my other videos. I've already done this one and already cut it out. That's going to go right there. But what I'm going to do instead this time, flip it over. I'm going to bring in some of my regular markers, and I'm going to do some coloring with this. So I have Pear Pizzazz here, and I'm going to go in and add some color. And yet now you see it, you'll see it better in a minute. You like the colors brushed on? Me too. Okay. Now I just want to show you something because your blends actually work too. Let me see, I got a dark. However, they don't work too well to, they got to dry, number one. Okay, see, this is a blend, and I can color it in with the blends. But you don't need your light and dark with the blends. You can use either the light or the dark. It does have to dry a little bit. If you use both the light and dark, it kind of just molds it together. So there, I don't know if you can see it, but I have the blends, and there's my regular markers. So I'm just going to keep going with my regular markers. Remember, you want to do this on the back side. Let's see, did I get all those that I wanted? Yeah. Okay, so now I'm going to grab my pumpkin pie, because I want some fall leaves. You don't have to stay in the lines either if you don't want. This is very forgiving. I'm going to grab maybe a Calypso Coral. Do a different color over here. The trick is just remember to do the back side. Now I want, excuse me, I want brown here, so I am going to grab 2 other markers. I'm going to grab my Early Espresso and my Soft Suede. I'm just going to color that one in. That one. I'm going to have so much fun doing this. All right, I'm going to grab some, let's see, Blackberry Bliss. Or, let's see, which one did I grab? Yep, Blackberry Bliss for these little guys. Little berries, nice fall colors. And then for the flowers, I do want a yellow one. So I'll make this one. This is the crushed curry. And let's see, what other color should I use? Don't know where that one came from. Let's see, what other color do I want to use? What's some other fall colors we can do here? What's this one? I don't want Mary Merlot. Okay, I'm going to go with, let's do another Blackberry Bliss over here. I see that I missed a leaf, so let's get that in there. And then I am going to use Cajun Craze. So this one is going to be Cajun Craze. Okay. Whoop, forgot some more berries. All right, so we are going to go, whoop, that's brown. I don't want that. I want this one. And I want the full side there. Okay, so I got all those now. Now let's flip that over. Look at the colors in that. Gorgeous, aren't they? We're going to layer that right on top of there. Doesn't need the leaves because it's already got leaves. I'm just going to add a nice big thing of adhesive here. I'm not even going to bother with the mini dimensionals. I am going to bring in another strip of cardstock for my sentiment. And for this one, I'm going to put Happy Thoughts of You, again using the Blackberry Bliss. I'm going to snip that off. I'm going to put that right in the middle there, just like that. I am going to not use dimensionals. I'm just going to go ahead and layer that right in the middle there. I'm going to go ahead and grab another bow. This one I'll put right about there. So that's 2 different ways you can use your vellum with embossing powder and color it. So we have that. Now I'm going to grab those beautiful gems, of course. These are my go-to fall colors. And I'm just going to add a few of those around. Again, you can add some adhesive there if you want, but it's not going anywhere. And I always like to put one somewhere on the sentiment if I can. I am going to bring in another piece of for our insert. Happy Thoughts of You and Autumn Wishes. Autumn Wishes. And let's see, we're gonna do, where's my brown? Right here. We're gonna do this one over here, and then the leaf and Occasion Craze, and we'll just put that up here and add that as soon as I can pick it up. Thank you, Karen. Karen says, absolutely beautiful. Fall cards are the best to make, aren't they? For this one, I'm going to bring in that large stamp, and I'm not going to color it in. You can if you want. I'm just going to ink up part of it. And I'm just going to grab the corner of that envelope. And there I have a beautiful envelope here. Now again, you can color it in if you want. I'm not going to. And I'm just going to do that on the side. And now I have a beautiful matching envelope for this card. So remember, tag me, follow me, sign up for my newsletter. I'm going to be giving some of these cards away. I will announce the winners on Monday with my next video, which may not be live. My husband does have a doctor's appointment, so it may be a recorded one, but you're not going to want to miss it because I got a really great fun fold for you and so easy to do. So let's bring in the cards again. So we have the ones with the pastels. We have the ones with the markers. First time watching, thank you, Marilyn. Don't forget to subscribe. We have the markers on this one. And again, the pastels. We have my black and white card, which black and white cards are always so elegant, aren't they? And then we have this one where I cut it in pieces. Another one cut in pieces and I added some pumpkins. And then the first one I did, which was just stamping on the paper. So there will be still shots in a little while on my blog. Everything will be listed on my blog. Just give me some time to do that. And let me flip the camera. I thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget, if you want to sign up for my online class for August, you have till 1 o'clock today, Eastern Standard Time. You love the black and white one, Jan? Thank you. Okay, Winnie-Ann says now the set is on her list. I am going to give some of these cards away, so definitely keep posting and sharing. And again, I thank you so much for tuning in. I think I got everything. Oh, one thing I do want to show you because I didn't go over it. Let me flip the camera. For our embossing, one thing you're going to want to get from that mini catalog is our accessory tray with all these little goodies, because this is what I use for embossing. You've heard me say it for the last few years. I wish they'd bring these trays back, and they did. They brought it back as a kit. These tweezers are great so you don't burn your hands. This is to help get some of that embossing powder off. And of course, you got your embossing buddy. So don't forget to check that out on the mini catalog. If you don't have a catalog and you need a catalog and you're in the US, definitely contact me so I can get you out one. You'll be doing some coloring later. Great. I'll share this video later. Thank you, Samantha. So I hope you all have a great day. Thank you all for tuning in. And keep on stamping, Stampers. Bye. Yes, give me a thumbs up. Thank you, Carol.